Welcome to what are we welcoming our family to? Inspired to Live podcast. Today we will be interviewing Mr. Shepherd. He's a board certified holistic health coach. So, Mr. Shepherd, thank you so much for coming on our show tonight. So today we're going to be talking about certain struggles that entrepreneurs might be experiencing, and kind of what is the key ingredient. Is your thoughts impacting your health? Is that right?
Yes. And the fact of the matter is this. We don't think that our negative thinking and our thoughts have a lot to do with our overall well-being. So with that said is
that because maybe it becomes such a routine, such a habit that maybe we don't realize the connection?
yes, because we thinking that we have control over what we think about. And what we think about is what we be about. So if we are thinking of it, we can either think positive thoughts or negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
If we want positive things in our lives, we think positively.
Right.
If we want negative things in our life, we think negatively. So I find myself in a place where I have to have a positive mindset towards pretty much everything. Because the moment I go into a place where I start thinking negative of it, it brings me down into being stressed, depressed, into not getting the results that I desire. So I have to find a way to put a positive spin on things instead of a negative spin, and always understand that everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it is a negative thing that happened or a positive thing, it happens for a reason. Sometimes it's the Lord talking to us, telling us to slow down. Sometimes it is a fact of you have to look into your inner self. So we always have to think to ourselves that when it happens for a reason or for a purpose.
Mm-hmm. True. So if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are maybe even as an individual just kind of struggling with negative thinking, leave us a comment down below and just let us know kind of why are you struggling with that, and how is that even impacted maybe your business, maybe your business growth, your business development, and even impacting your family and your children. This is really a serious topic that many people are struggling with. Many people are not asking for help because on social media everything kind of looks perfect, and that's just not real life, right? And so as as humans, really, we have the ability to go through stress, right? So let's say that a tiger is chasing us down the road, right? And what are you going to do? Are you going to just stroll along the street, or what would you do?
I'm running.
Right. So our natural God-given impact is to really run, right? Run for your life, because this is survival mode. But let's say that you are in a situation at work or in your business where you're working with someone that's kind of always with you, and they're stressful, or they're narcissistic, or they're controlling, or whatever it may be. That is us living in a state of stress all the time, right? And eventually that level of stress will impact your health, will impact your life. And many times people develop anxiety, right? Because they continue to live through these emotions each and every day and not find ways to kind of brush those emotions to the side. And so we continue to live this routine life of stress, negativity, and negative thoughts. So
anxiety is something that doesn't happen yet.
Right. So anxiety is different than fear, right?
Yeah. So anxiety is the anxiety of me picking up the phone to call my insurance company. Right? When it's just going to be pick the phone up, call my insurance company. Hey, by the way, I got a fender bender. and this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having anxiety over picking the phone up over something that
And that's real.
gonna be not even a big issue, right? Because all it is you're gonna let them know, and that's what you pay insurance for. So I had anxiety by picking it up. Just pick it up and do it.
By the way, guys, Shepherd Fit in the house was just in a fender bender. Actually, it was more than a fender bender.
Well,
It could be totaled, truthfully.
yes.
And so you do experience anxiety in a situation like that because guess what? You might total your car. You might increase your insurance. So it does create anxiety.
Well, here's how I look at it.
Okay.
For me is okay. I got a fender bender. My SUV may be totaled, but the part that I look at, and I made a statement to the gentleman, was that at least we're not injured. The car can be replaced, but it's hard for us to go and try to replace a leg, replace a body, or replace a scar. Right?
Definitely, yes.
So for me, it was a lot more to look at that I was alive and I'm good, because looking at it as a stressful situation, even though it was cold and I was shaking, but after all said and done, I still went ahead and went to church the next day, went away and did my singing, and then I still went ahead and traveled and just kind of put it behind me and then deal with it when I get back, instead of stressing out about it for the holiday. Just let it go and deal it when you get back, because it's not like you cannot fix anything at that point in time.
Right.
So I had to realize that, and I'm going to still go ahead and have a good time and enjoy the holiday.
That's true. Okay. So, well, I, on the other hand, would have been not enjoying the holiday. That's the truth. Because you're concerned about your rates going up, whether or not someone is going to pretend for, to get money out of the situation, etc. So it is a little stressful.
But you have no control over that.
Yeah,
if
you
you
do.
trust and believe in our Creator, there's no control over that, because at the end of the day, I feel like, okay, it's going to go pay $80 or $100. You pay the consequences for your mistakes, right?
Right.
And I just felt like that's a consequence I'm going to pay, because you're speeding, or you're in a rush or something, and something happened. Now you're going to pay the consequences. So I have to look at the end results. But I also feel like, by God's grace, it may don't go up, because it was first time in 20 years, and there's also accident forgiveness. So I have to think about the positive side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it didn't really affect me, in sense of not to have a good Christmas or enjoy the time with my family. And that's something that we have to come out of. If we are truly walking with the Creator, we have to understand that fear can cripple us. And fear and anxiety and stress and worries of the devil. It's not of God. So if we are walking with the Lord, we can't say we are walking truly and faithfully with Him if we are worried about stress, and we are fearful, and we have anxiety, and we have the place in our life where we feel like something is going to fall apart. We got to trust and believe in Him.
Right.
That's why we have situations where people are losing it, because they are more so trusting themselves more than trusting their Creator.
So, here's a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you guys are struggling with negative thinking? And you may not even think of it as negative thinking. You might think these are factual things like, oh yes, my brother is this or that or whatever. But how many of you think that negative thinking is impacting your health? Like, are you sick? Are you struggling with anything emotionally? Sickness, physical sickness, psychological sickness? There's a lot of illness that can come about when we are constantly in a negative thought process, right? You agree?
Yes, totally agree.
So, in a situation where you might be having issues with your family, or issues at work, or issues with your neighbor, this can still impact you negatively, because you're not able to flourish as God has really designed for your life to be. Disagree, Mr. Shepard?
Totally agree. Totally agree. Like, I give you an example for me is I used to think all women cheats, right? So that was a negative thinking on my end growing up. And what you did was you think it and you end up, see it come to, you pretty much attract it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize to yourself that it's just a bad way of thinking. Like, why would you think that all women cheats, right? Just like a woman say, oh, all men cheats. That's not true. That's a negative way of thinking, and you pretty much calling that on yourself when you say that.
Right.
So that's like an example of negativity.
Or in a situation where you can be thinking about your past,
Mm-hmm.
the negative aspects of your past, maybe the trauma that you've gone through as a child, or a bad relationship that you've gone through. If you continue to hold on to these things where you're kind of unforgiven, and you're really allowing that individual, that situation to really control your life, and for you to continue to live in a state of imprisonment because you have not forgiven. Forgiveness is really not for that individual to say, hey, it's okay what you did to me, great job, thumbs up. But it's really for you to know that you are healing inside. It's really for you to say, I have let go of that individual's actions, and I've decided to open up and live free and be grateful to God for where I am. The situation has made me who I am, and it's for a reason. There's for a purpose that God allows certain things in our lives. Even though some of them are pretty bad, he has you there because there's someone in this life that you are going to have to help through this life that's going to go through that same similar situation, and you're going to be there to comfort them and give them peace. But if we're staying in a state of self, a state of victimization, then I don't think that's really a word, but then you're truly not able to impact that person's life. And so even though you could have help this person overcome this struggle, because you are so consumed into self, you're not able to really help them to flourish, and you have a responsibility to yourself, to God, to your community, to really make a difference. You're not here just to exist, right? You're here to impact lives. You're not here for yourself. You're not here to focus on your pain. Pain is a part of life. Pain is a part of our journey. Christ himself went through pain, more pain than we realize just on the cross, but it's a so much more graphic. And the humility that this man went through for our pain, we really need to realize that we have to take on that same cloak and be there for someone else that's also suffering, because he has sacrificed for us, and it's time for us to now sacrifice for someone else, to be there for them.